Like Ram is the paragon of virtue in so many ways. And his principle in the world, not only is he a incarnation of Vishnu, but his principle is virtue. His superpower is virtue, or more specifically, dharma. He's to uphold dharma, which is a tricky job, right? Particularly when you're the heir impending to a kingdom, right? Like I don't know the last time any of you ran a kingdom, but there's some you got to contend with a lot of dicey situations. So this book left an impression on me, and in particular, I feel compelled to share the part where Ram is banished, right? So Ram is the heir apparent to the kingdom. In fact, the very next morning, he will be coronated. And then the whole village has been, or the whole kingdom of Ayodhya has been tuning up their lutes and their sitars, and they've been baking like the best cookies with the finest ghee in all of India, and putting on the most decorative attire, and every building is strung with marigolds. What could possibly go wrong? And his father, the king, he's like picking out the curtains for his retirement cottage, and like this, I have, what more could a man want? And his wife, one of his wives, Kaike, goes, lean a little closer to my ear and says, remember the boons you promised? Hello, welcome. Remember the boons you promised me when I was, when you were death struck on the battlefield and I came and I saved you. Both of them, both those boons. And he goes, yes, asking is given. Okay. Boon number one, Ram won't be the king, but we'll place, my biological son, Bharat, in his place. Right. And Bharat, by the way, has no desire to usurp Ram in any way. It's sort of forced on him. And then boon number two, Ram is exiled. Exile your beloved and preferred son to the forest for 14 years. For 14 years. He calls Ram into the space, and he's distraught, and that apparently virtue and dharma and your namesake and your word and everything were like of utmost importance in this sort of king dynasty. Okay, so that's where the reading kicks in. To avoid the commotion at the gates, it was decided that Ram, Lakshman, and Sita, they're accompanying him on this great 14-year quest, would be taken out on the royal chariot, which would make it easier for them to cut through the crowd. Sumantra, the king's charioteer, ordered the warriors to use whips and sticks and to push the people away to make a path. But as the chariot rolled out, the crowds rushed forward, refusing to be intimidated. They threatened to throw themselves under the wheels of the chariot to be killed. We will kill Kaike. We will kill Bharat. Revolt, Ram. We are with you. Do not submit to this injustice, they said. Ram finally stood up and said in a voice that was clear and soothing, know this. Ayodhya is not mine to give or Bharats to take. Ayodhya is the responsibility of the Raghu clan, not our property. It will be unjust if the kings of the Raghu clan do not keep their word. It will be unjust if the wishes of Kaikeyi are not fulfilled. My father promised to fulfill her wishes, and he is obliged to fulfill them, as am I. Do not blame her for asking what is due to her. Yes, the event is unfortunate, but it is but one event in our lives. We can call it tragedy if we wish. Blaming helps no one. Let us take responsibility for it. For nothing in life happens spontaneously. It is the result of past action. This moment is as it is supposed to be. I am repaying the debt of the past, and so are you. We cannot choose the circumstances of our life, but we can make our choices. I have chosen to be true to my clan. My wife has chosen to be true to her role. My brother has chosen to be true to his feelings. Allow us our choices. Come to terms with our decision. You are angry, not with the queen or her son or the king. You are angry that life has not turned out the way you thought it would. In a moment, the world you so took for granted has collapsed. Expand your mind and understand that the pain comes from your assumptions and expectations. Choose love over hate. By accepting the fears and fragilities of humanity that leads to situations such as these, this moment is the outcome of some curse, or maybe it is a boon in waiting. Who knows? Varuna has 1,000 eyes. Indra, 100. You and I, only two. After this, there was no more agitation. The chariot rolled without resistance, and the people stood by quietly. Then the chariot crossed the city gates. People felt emptiness in their hearts and spontaneously began to follow in the chariot. They would not stop the chariot, but they could not stop their feet either. Before long, the city was deserted, and a long stream of people made their way behind the chariot with its fluttering royal flags, which made its way towards the frontier edges of Ayodhya. And the king's watching all this go down from his perch. And he turns to his other wife. He says, Ram is gone. Bharat is not here. Neither is Lakshman or Shatrugna, these are Ram's other brothers. What will happen to Ayodhya if I die now? He said. Nothing, Kashula said wistfully. The sun will rise, the birds will chirp, and the city will go about its business. The world does not need us, my husband. We need the world. Come, let us go inside and prepare for Bharat's coronation. Fortunes and misfortunes come and go, but life continues. With that, I invite you to recline on your backs with your heads towards me.